I'm going to import the prime faces into it. So I have the prime faces. I'll go to the database part, start the server, and then create a new database. And I'm going to create a table. And I'm going to give the field as city, category, product, or I'll make it as product name. Better. Product name, total, so this is what I have: city, category, product name, total. See to that you have it in the same order because you're going to copy paste something, so it must be in the same order. Click OK to create the table. Let's view the data, and I'm going to insert the value. Once you get up to this point, go to the essential. You get a file product list.xls. Open that list. In the sheet 2 of it, you have the list. Control C it and paste it here. Click OK to insert those records into the table. So instead of wasting time in typing them, I'm giving you a list which already has the value. If you notice what is there in this list, you have the city, 3 cities are there, and every city has 3 different types of products. So we have 3 different types of products. That is the category: soap, washing powder and tea. And within the soap we have the same type of items. So we are going to create the series for different cities. We have just in the last class what we have done is we just created a list for, or we have created a bar diagram for one list. Now we are going to do it for more than one list. So let's go ahead with the project. I'm going to go and add a new bean to my project. Now I'm going to call this as product, and I'm going to place it inside the com package. So add a Java class, call it as product, and place it inside the com. Click finish. As you are aware, in order to use the bar diagram, we need a Cartesian model. So I'm going to go for Cartesian chart model, and I'm going to call it as product model. How we have done in the last class. I'm going to put a getter and setter for this. Also, I'm going to get a default constructor for this. I'm going to make this as managed bean. Also, I'm going to put it in the session scope. You can put it in the request scope also. So this is usual thing. This is what you have done in the last class, and we need to create a model. So let me write a method for creating the model. And what we need here is a connection to the database. These are routine steps. I will import the connection. I have to put this inside the try catch. Also, I am supposed to handle the catch. I need a statement. I'm going to get a result set. And I'm supposed to run a query. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw the bar diagram. for the given category. Okay. So if the category is selected as, say, let's say so, I'm going to give the bar diagram like this for a given category, and this will be for one of the city and the other one is for the other city. So this is what I want. So my query that I am supposed to run requires me to select one category and more than one city. So I am supposed to select all the products within a given category but in different cities. So how do we write a query? So we have cities here. I want to get the details. Let's say I want to select everything. So I want to select everything, but I want to put a condition here. What is the condition? Condition is, the first one is a obvious one. I must be able to select a category. So I must be able to select category equal to something. So this part is first one. I must be able to select a category and I must be able to select the values from, if suppose if I select the soap, I must be able to select the soap from Mangalore, and maybe from Mysore. And if there are other cities are there, I must be able to get them. So how do I write the second one? Yes. So the cities can be either Mangalore or Bangalore or Mysore or any other or all of them. So how do you write a query statement for that? City in and what? So city in so I don't know how many, just a second. So if I execute this, what I'll get? You will notice that I'm able to get the cities that are in different cities. The category is same and the products within it. Also I'm going to get the total. If you want, you can order them. You can even go and you can say order by city and maybe, okay, you have only city. So when you order it, you are going to say that it is ordered Bangalore, Mangalore, and Mysore. So I got the entire sequel. I'm going to get that sequel, and I'm going to paste it here. So this is one part. Now, in order for me to make a choice on category, I'm going to provide that category as an argument to the model. So I'm going to say a string category as one of the choice, and I'm going to replace this one with the category. Now the next one is I am supposed to provide a list of cities. So how do I provide it? There are many ways in which you can do it. I will go with the simplest one that everybody is familiar, but not the efficient one, and that is a string array of cities. But this is a array. So what is passed in this case is a array. So just to, if you are going for a simplest option, this is what you will end up in. But if you are using an array of strings, you are going to get in this order. But what is required by us is something that looks like this. So this is what is required by us, and this is what is provided. Then how do you get it? Yes. You cannot directly use it. So you have to convert it. In order for you to use it here with this city, you have to convert it into the other way around. How do you do it? If it's a list, it's much easier. We are not familiar with the list, so we will have to convert it into a list. So how do I create a list? Again, this is not a good choice. So we will go through all the elements within the array. So how can we go through all the elements in the array? For string city in cities. So for every city in the collection of cities. What is that this particular statement is doing? So you have an array of cities, and you are using the for loop to get one string out of it. And if you take one string out of it, what is that you are supposed to do? You have to add it to the list. And what is the list that you are supposed to get it? Suppose if this was Mangalore and Bangalore and let's say Mysore, when the for loop iterates for the first time, you are going to get the city as Mangalore. But what is that you are supposed to do it? You have to convert this into this format. So that string has to be enclosed inside a single quote. So the single quote is required. So how do I do it? Next time when this for loop goes again, you are going to get the city as Bangalore. And what is that you are supposed to do it? This is not there. You have to put a comma here and then make it as Bangalore and so on. So how do we go about this? So I'm going to say I will concatenate. Remember, strings are not mutable, so this is not a efficient way of doing it. I'm going to say string list plus single quote plus city plus so I am forcefully putting a single quote. That's not the end of it, and I'm going to put a comma separation. So what will happen now? You have an array with different strings and let's say now when you iterate it for the first time, what you get here is Mangalore. And what you are going to do within this? Within this, it is starting with the empty string. So within this, what you are going to do is you are going to put it as MAN, comma. So you get that much MAN followed by this. When it iterates for the second time, you are going to get this Bangalore within this city. So city will be Bangalore. So what you are going to do? This is already there. You are going to put the Bangalore and a comma. Third time, when this for loop goes, you are going to point to Mysore. Then what you are going to do is you are going to put the Mysore and a comma. But what is the problem? What's the problem? Yes. What's the problem with this? What's the problem with this statement? Yes? You have one extra comma that is coming into picture. Okay. So even if you have 10 items, there will be a last extra comma that has to be taken care. So what you are going to do? There is no other option. Once you come out of the for loop, you will have many items and there will be an extra comma at the end. You will have to get rid of this comma. So that's the only option that you have. So let's take care of it. We'll go out of the for loop and we will try to get the city list. How do I get it? We will go for a substring. Substring begin at 0 and end at some place. Where do I end it? So where do I end it? Yes. You have and this. Now you have to get this substring up to this point, not this. So what you are supposed to do? You have to find the index of the last comma within that string. So you have to get the index or the position of this comma within the string. So how do I get that one? So let's go here and let's see whether we get something in the city list. City list, you will notice that you have a lot of the things, and the one that is of use to you is last index of the string. So I'm going to say last index of the comma, but that will tell you where the comma is there, but I want one minus of that because I don't want that comma to be part of my string. So I'm going to reduce one less than that. So what I have done here is I am taking the string and I am saying that give me the position of this one, this comma, but I want to cut the string before this comma. So I am reducing 1 minus to say that that position 1 minus of it because that is not required. So I get the city list here. I'm going to go to this place and now I can safely remove this list from here and I can put it as so I got the list. Let's try to go to the product and let's try to call this method, and that is create model. I'm going to say the first one is so, and the cities is a array consisting of Bangalore. I'll put it in double quotes. It's an array of string and let's say I'm going to ignore the Mysore, so just to get two things. So I'm trying to call the model with these two things. Let's go back to the index page. And I'm going to quickly put a bar diagram here. So this is P. Bar diagram, bar chart. Value is products dot, this is not going to work, product model, it's not going to work because it's not complete. You know very well it's not going to work because we have not populated anything. We have only the model and a title. We don't want anything else because we have a lot of things to be done here. What is that we are supposed to do it? And now we are supposed to generate the series for different cities. So if you recall, what are we going to do now is we are going to create the bar diagram for Bangalore and Mangalore. So if you take this product as, say, soap, if you have taken it as soap, so this will be a series for Mangalore. The other one is for the Bangalore. Similarly, you may have some other product here. One series is for this and this is for, say, Bangalore, and the other one is for, say, Mysore or Mangalore. Okay. Two series are there. Yeah, take it. You want other also, 4 also you take. So let's use the while loop. What we get is a result set and we are ordering this result set by cities. So when you call rs.next in your code, so when you call rs.next, what you get is the next record. You will not get anything new. So what you must do is within the result set you cannot categorize. So it will just give you the next record. So you must keep track of the city. So you must start with the one city. Keep it somewhere. So go on reading the record. When the city name changes, you have to start a new series. So this is what you are supposed to do it. So maintain the city value of the record that is being read. If the record that is being read has a different city value, then you will have to start a new series. So how do we go about it? We will first assume that remember there are two problems. First one is the first city itself. When you read the first record, you are not very sure which city is that. So this is the blank. You start with the blank. Then you take one city, maintain the city value, keep on reading the records. When a city changes, again start a new series. So some logic has to be used there. So let us go for a string here. I'm going to just use a string here, and I'm going to say city series. I'm going to initialize it with the blank. That is because when you start with the first city, you are not starting. Say there are two cases here. One is when you start entering this list, you start with the blank city because you don't know which record you are reading. But once you start reading one record, you know which is the city. Then maintain the city until the city value changes. So we are starting with a blank city, and whatever value that we are going to read will be our city. So that is a reference city. So I'm going to say that if blank equal to city, why it is not equals city series. So what's the meaning of that? This is the first city you are trying to read. Then whatever city that you are reading will be taken up as your reference. So city series is equal to rs dot get city, get string, and within that say city. So this is the first one. The first that record that you are reading will be the one that you will be using. So that is 1. Immediately I am going to start a new series. So I have to start a series. With this the series must begin. So let's start a reference here. So do we have a option? Chart series. Say city series. Do I have? I'll not put as blank. I'll initialize it with none. So I'm going to say cities. Do I have? Oh, I think that is. It's coming 2 times. So I'm going to say. It will confuse me if not. Okay. I'll just make it as chart series because there is already that city series is there. Confuse you. Equal to new chart series, and I'm going to put the label then and there. What's the label? Label is the city series that you have just said. So this is 1. That's the first time you are reading. There is the other option. What is the other option? Other option is you start reading the series. So you started with the Bangalore. That was the first one. You started with the blank and you said, okay, this is Bangalore. Next time you read it, it is again Bangalore. Next time you read it again Bangalore. Next time again Bangalore. But after that you see that the value changes. So when the value changes again, you have to start one more series. So how do I take care of it? So let's go for this one. That is, next time when you start reading the chart, not the chart, city series, I have used the not there, equals rs dot get string city. So what is that I am doing? So I am reading a new city value from the result set, and I am comparing it with the old value of the city series. If both of them are not same, that means the series has changed. So every time when I start reading this, I know that okay, this is the Bangalore series. I keep in track of Bangalore series and so on. But what will happen is when it reaches Bangalore, the previous value, that city series will be different from what is being read. So when there is a mismatch between what is already known to you and what the new value is coming into you, then what you can do is you can take a value as new series. So I'm going to say city series is now rs dot get string of city. So you are taking new. Apart from that, you will have to change the chart series. This is the new series. So I'm going to say equal to new chart series. There are two places wherein the series has to be started. One is right at the beginning, and the other one is when the value changes. Otherwise, you are going to add, so these two are the guiding points to tell you that you are within a series. So when you come out of this, you know very well you are in the same city. So either this city or other city or somewhere else, you are in the same city. So what you are supposed to do is whatever you are reading, you are supposed to put it inside the chart series dot set the values. What is the value that you are supposed to set? There are two things. For every city you have the product name and the total. So you have put, this is the label, this is that is the key, and this will be the value. So you are supposed to put the key, which is p name, and you have to read it from the result set. So it's going to be result set dot get string. So this will be like your names of the product, something like Lux and other. So the other one is rs dot get anyone. It can be float, it can be anything, and this is the total. So key and value. That's good. So you are able to generate the series, but that's not the end of it. Once you generate the series, you have to add that series to the model. So you are now generating a series with the key value pair. So you just generated a full series that contains key value. This has to be added to the model. So when are you going to add it to the model? So when do you add it to the model? So you start from this one. Right at the beginning, you didn't know which is the city. Once you read the first record, you know which is the city. But you cannot add it to the model because the series is not complete. So you keep on reading, and when you come here, you know that this series has ended. So before you start with the new series, the previous values must be added to the model. So where is the place wherein you can think of adding it? So in your project, in your program, you will notice that here, this is for the first record that you are reading, wherein you are not sure about which is the city. This is the place wherein you switch from one city to the other city. So you say that your city values are getting changed. So what you can think of doing? Before you change the city value, just add the values to the model. How do I add it to the model? before I add it to the model, I have to initialize the model. So let me go to the model, and the name of the model that I have here is the product model. So before the while loop, I'm going to just initialize the model. So I'm going to say P model, I think product model, I don't know what name I gave. Product model equal to new Cartesian model, that's all. So this is to just generate that model. Then in this place I'm going to say product model dot add series, the chart series. So add the series, then reset the series for the new values. So add the previous series, then reset it back to the previous one. So we have almost completed. Let's go here, and finally I'm going to say I have this connection dot close. So just close the connection. Let's look at the project in action, see whether we are able to get the intended result. Yeah, this is good thing that I got some error here. See, I have told you that it's going to generate a component tree model, and this is the model that it is trying to generate. Okay. So somewhere I told you that it's going to, if you get an error message, you will get it. If not, we get a null point section. Let me see. Yeah, we will get too many errors here. As usual, we have done a blunder. So let's go back to square one and let's get everything. So we are not getting the second one. I'm getting one series, but not the second one. It could be because of a spelling mistake also. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm not very sure which one is not coming, I will do one thing, that is, I'm going to say legend position is northeast. So I'm adding one extra so that it will show me the legend. So it will show the legend of the series that it is, if at all the series that it knows. So what benefit you get is if you refresh this, it's going to show you the. So we got one. Two. I think I am losing some. I'm losing the last one. So that means the array. I'm not getting the values from the array. Properly, I'm not getting the values from the array. So if I put myself again, so the last one is. So this is a bit irritating. In my glass fish, I am getting everything properly. Ah, yes. We will not get because of a logical mistake. And what's the logical mistake is? You just look at this one. You notice that what we are doing is, if you look at that for loop, we start with the blank and we take okay Bangalore as a reference. Then when we shift from Bangalore to Mangalore, we add it. Then when we shift from Mangalore to Mysore, we add it. But what will happen when we come to the last of Mysore? When we come up to the last record, what will happen is the while loop itself will come out. So we don't have the Mysore that is being getting added. So what is happening here is, if you notice here, we are adding the series as long as we are inside the while loop. Now when the last record of Mysore is read, the while loop itself will break. That means to say that when the Mysore series is completely read, but it is not added to the model. So what I can think of doing? Just go outside the model. This is not a good idea because it could be null itself. So I will take care of it later. I'm going to say I'm going to add the chart series again. So when I come out of the Mysore, that Mysore series is actually created, but it is not getting added because the while loop gets closed. So now what I'm going to do is I will save this. I'll put only up to Mysore. I'll get an error at the later stage. It's okay. I'll handle it later. Are you getting it now? Yes? all the three. Are you getting it? Okay. One small logical error. So you notice that there are three series over here, and this one is for Bangalore, Mangalore, and Mysore. You're getting all the three. Are you getting up to this point? Yes or no? Okay. So what I have done is there was a small logical error. This will create a problem later. Why it is going to create a problem is if there are no records are being read, you really end up in adding a null series into the your model. Okay. That will take care later. So here, this was the problem. We were trying to insert as long as we were there in the while loop. But the problem is when the last series is read, we are actually coming out of the while loop. So we will have to forcefully add something. Now what you can think of doing is you can take a precaution here. So you can just say that if chart series not equal to null, then only execute this line. It's like a precaution. So that means to say that if nothing is read, then blindly insert a null series. I hope this will not break the code, because I am starting the chart series as null here. So I am saying that if it is not equal to null, that means something is there. So my default value itself is not being supplied. I think it will not create any problem. Just refresh it and just see. Okay, we are done. You are there up to this point? Yes? Done? Okay, in that case, now it is this point. Now what we are supposed to do? Now it is showing me a series for the soap. Now what if I want to see the series for the other items? So I will have to have a selection of the categories. So let's take care of that part. So we will go to the index. Right at the top, I'm going to say, I don't want hello world anymore. So I'm going to say select a category. And I'm going to create a drop down. So how do I create a drop down? Yet select one menu. And then you can supply the value. You can say for this. Yep. Select item. Item label. Say so. Value. This is not the one that we are going to use it, because we'll come to know what's the problem with this. This is going to create a static series. So item label. It's not the descriptor, sorry. This is item label. This is not the one is we are going to dynamically get that list, because we have to get this list from this kind of list has to be obtained from our database. It's not here. Just to tell you what we are going to do now. I need a value to be traced. Item value. Even it is not proper item label. So I want to get something of this type. Okay, but this is not the one because it's a static. It's not dynamic. If you add additional items to the database, that list will remain same. Or if you delete a category, that list will not be highlighted. So I want to get that category from the database, and I want to populate it from the database. So let's go to the database, and let's first try to get that from the database. So what is the query that I am supposed to write in order to get the unique category values? So let me run this query again without any condition. So I'm going to run this query with all the values. So I have all the values here. I want to get the unique value of the categories. What is the category? So I am supposed to get the category. How do I get unique values of the category? What is the query? If you run this, you get that thing getting repeated. I want the unique value of the categories. What's the query? Spec. What's the answer? Anyone? What is the answer? How do you get a unique value of the category? What's the query for that? Yes? What is the query? Yes? Distinct. Select distinct. So if you say distinct, you get the distinct value. So we get the distinct value from that list. Now what is that we are supposed to do? We are supposed to populate the list with that. So let's go to the product and let's create a public method. Public, you can send a list rather than array. So I'm going to say it's going to return a list of string, and I'm going to say get category list. Very lengthy name. Get category list. How do you do that thing? You have to go to the database. You have to get it back. So first of all, I'm going to create a array list. This list is capital list. Again from the utilities. Let me get both of them, both from the utilities. This is also from the utilities. I'll take care of it. So I'm going to say cat list is equal to new. Now I'm going to make it as an array list of string. Also array list of string. Why didn't I use the list here? If you're thinking why didn't I use just list equal to something, why did I go for array list? List is an interface. This is an interface. This is an interface. You can't instantiate it. This is a concrete class. And finally at the end I'm going to just return this category list. Take some time for it to relax. Okay, how do I get it? I have to go to the database, I have to fetch the values from the database, and you know very well it's a difficult task to go to the database, and we have already done the initial part. So I'm going to go here and we have a connection to the database and all these things. I'm going to go up to this part, Control C, and get it here, paste it. It's going to say you need a try catch. I'll click on it and I'm going to say surround the block with try catch. When I do it, I'm going to get a error message. It's okay. I'm going to say insert one more SQL exception. You get an error message, no doubt. Get this array statement out of try, get it out of try, and get this return statement out of that catch block. So array and so the array list is being brought down out of the try block, and the return statement is brought out of catch block. So it is surrounding, the remaining part is surrounding there. I don't want a throws exception, so this is not, I think I selected a wrong one. I don't want a throws exception. I want that exception to be added to the catch block. What you have done previously, it is the same old thing that you are doing. Just connecting to a database and trying to execute a statement. Simple as that. And I'm going to say result set rs equal to statement dot execute query. I'm going to get that query. So we are supposed to execute a query. I'll go to the command, get that query, select distinct categories from my table, so that's the query, select distinct from my table, and as usual, while result set dot next, read one and add it to the array list, and we have called that array list as category list, and I'm going to add rs dot get string category. So add the list. Read the category, get the result set from the database, and then add it to the array list, and finally you are returning that array list, that is a category list. After reading, after completing this part, just use the connection dot close, so that connection is closed. Now this list you got this list. So what you have done is you have read these items from the database and you have put them into the list, and that list is the category list. So you have put it inside this category list. So when you call this method get category list, you are going to get the list of distinct categories from the database. What you are supposed to do now is you have to connect that list to this drop down box. So how do I do that thing? If you look at this drop down box here, it contains static items. So I don't want to type the static item because the things can change. I want to get the dynamic items. So how do I do that thing? So I'm going to say f dot select items. Yes is there. So items. It's not one item. And it's going to say where is the value. Value is obtained from the method that we have just written. And what is the method? So we have to go to this product, and within the product we have a method to get the category list. This is the method. You must write it properly. It's a method and you must write it properly. Whatever you have written, get C capital, you have to write it as it is. So get category, not this one, the method name, get category list. Okay, get category list. I'll just copy paste it if in order to avoid the spelling errors. So we have got that. Now remember, it's going to return the list, and we have to somehow use a for loop kind of thing to get one item of that. So it's a list of items that are available. So I'm going to use a variable. You can call it with any name, and I'm going to call it as category. So I'm going to say item label is this thing. Now what is this part? We got a list of items. This one is one of the item within the list. So what does this method returns? This method will return the list of items. Automatically it will run a for loop, and at a time it's going to give you one item at a time. So this one item within that list is represented inside the variable CAT. So that is what I am doing. So one item of it, any variable name you can give, A, B, C, D, anything is okay. This will represent one of the items. So this is the label, and next definitely I want the value. How I have done. The value is also same, the item. So the name and the value is one and the same. Then I'm going to close this. So item, any variable you can use it. So variable is that. The same one will be used for the item and the value. So let's save it and let's give it a try. So when you refresh it, you will notice that I had only two items. Now I have three items. Automatically it has populated this drop down with the items from the database. So I got it. Now the next one is, in order for you to query it, you have to know which item got selected. Then only you will be able to change this picture. So you must know which item is getting selected. You got the items list there, which is getting selected. Let's add that functionality. Again, I'm going to go to this product and I'm going to create a string. So I'm going to say string selected category. Selected category. I'm going to get the getter and setter for that. So just a string variable, and I'm going to get a getter and setter for that. Selected category. So I've just added a string selected category and a getter and setter for that. This selected category will retain the item that was selected. So from within this list, whichever item that is getting selected, so whichever that is getting selected, it will be stored in this variable. So how do I do that? I will again have to go to the menu item here, and I'm going to say the value of this menu item will be stored inside the product, which is our bean, dot the list item. So whatever list, selected category, so it will be stored inside selected category. I hope that I have written it in the small case. If the conventions are not proper, it will create a problem. So this is what we have done. If you notice now, there is no, visually there is no changes. Only thing is, now we are able to keep track of which item is getting selected, that's all, nothing else. But the thing is, if you change the item, you need to change the graph. How do you achieve that? So in order for us to change the graph, we have to recreate the model with the newer value, and the value is the one that is getting selected. So let's write a simple method that will perform this trick. Okay. I'm going to go over here, and anywhere you can write it. So I'm going to write a method, a public method which does not return anything. Public void on selected item change. Anything you can give. It need not be such a lengthy one. What is that you are supposed to do it? You have to recall the same model with the selected item. So if you look at the constructor, somewhere you have written that constructor, the product constructor. I'm going to copy those two lines. So I'm going to copy that two lines that I have written for the constructor. In the constructor, what you do is you create that model, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I will do the same thing, but the difference is this time it is not the soap. It is the item that was selected. So where is the item that is selected? I have the variable selected category. So I have it here. So I'm going to say whichever value that is stored inside it has to be shown. That's simple as that. So I'm saying, in other words, I'm saying the model has to be recreated, but I'm not taking care of the cities, no doubt. Model has to be recreated for the given category. Now let's go and let's tie this method. Somehow this method has to be called. When do I call it? I will go for a Ajax functionality because it's not going to work otherwise. So how do I add the Ajax functionality into this? It's a very simple way. You have to just say f colon Ajax. Now it's going to say what is the action. So it's going to say what is the event. Event is, it could be anything. Okay. If you don't know the event, just type the event and run it. It will give you an error message saying that events can be only this. Okay. So if you just forgot which is the event, for example, I'm going to just say change is the event. Whether that event is there or not, if you are not sure or if you don't know which events are supported by the Ajax, just type anything and just run it. It will give a beautiful error message saying that event can't be other than this. It's as simple way. The next one is listener. Who is going to listen to this event? Now, the one that is going to listen to this event is again from the product. And we have on selected item change. Okay. So this is going to change the model, but changing the model will not recreate it on the screen. So you have to say which item need to be rendered. So if the model changes, which item need to be refreshed. So render. So render is the ID of the item that needs to be rendered, which is the ID. I'm going to go to this bar diagram, so this bar chart, and I'm going to say this has an ID called bar diagram. So you can give any ID. I'm going to say that, okay, this is the ID. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to say what is rendered is that bar diagram. So the ID that I have written here, so I'm saying that you have to, this will change, the listener will change the model, but once the model is changed, the bar diagram has to be refreshed. So let us give it a try and let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, nothing will happen. If you run also, nothing is going to happen. The reason why nothing will happen is we just made a blunder one more time. And this time the blunder is, if you want to submit something back, you need a form. Without this, the browser will not send anything back to the server. So we need that. Just to put one form, put it inside a form, and then save it and refresh. Uh, that means that's not the event. That, the one that can, I think the change itself should do it. So the event is the change itself, it can't be something else. Let me go here, which one I selected. I have, think, mistake there. It is render, it was made as rendered. Okay. So I think that was these things were working properly. Only thing is I selected rendered rather than rendered. It is rendered, not rendered. But, and the listener is same change. It's not the event is changed. Only thing is when I selected it, I selected rendered. It should have been rendered. So you will notice now that your model is able to show you the values for different category. Are you able to get up to this point? Yes or no? So we are able to see the model, and you will notice here that only the graph is getting changed. It's not the we don't see any change in the other part of the screen. Only that part is getting rendered. That's what is Ajax. Now our next challenge will be to make a selection of cities. Now what if I don't want to say all the cities? So is there a choice for that? So the next one is, what if I just want to compare Bangalore and Mangalore? Suppose if you have many cities where the sales are taking place and you are not interested in the comparison among all the cities. So let's go and let's take care of that. Are you there up to this point? Okay, so let's take care of this. I'm going to put a break here. And I'm going to put a checkboxes for the selection. So let's go and let's say yet select many checkboxes. Okay. As usual, it is the same old thing. Inside this, what you are supposed to do is you have to say select items. So one in the same thing that you are supposed to do it, but we will not write manually. We will not write anything. We will get it from the database. So these checkboxes values must come from the database. So again, one more function to get the list of cities from our database. So let's go and let's create one more method, and our method is public. This will return a list of string, and I'm going to say get what we can say, get city list. What is it going to do is almost same as the other method. So I'm going to copy it from the other side. It will do almost same thing what the category list would have done with small changes. I'm going to copy paste this whole thing. Whatever that was there for the category list, get category list, that full method as it is, I'm just pasting it and then I will make changes. This is city list. If you don't want to make changes to this and get bugged up with it, you have to just change the query, that's all. You need to just change the query if you don't want to get involved in making changes to the variables. After copy pasting it, there is only one thing that needs to be changed. What is that? Is this is select distinct city from that. Also, you have to set it that it is city. So in the while loop, that's the only thing. This one and this one need to be changed. You can keep the previous variable as it is. It's not going to make any difference. I have made changes to the thing just to make it easier to read. So you are getting a distinct city and you're just using it. Let us connect this one. So this is your query is done. Let's go to the checkbox here and just connect it. So what is the value that you're going to get? Remember, this is items. You must be careful, it is not item. So what is the value? Again, as usual, product dot, I will copy paste that method. That method, what it says is something that is not proper. So I will just copy paste that name of the method. It will give you a method name which is not proper because it is based on the convention. It works on convention. Then what we need is, this is a list. So I want something that will represent individual city. So I will take a variable called as city. You can take C, X, Y and Z, anything. Then I am going to say item label is city and item value is also city. The name and values I want to keep it simple. So any variable you can give, but it is that the same variable is being used. If you refresh this one, you get the city now. So you can select any one of the cities or you can leave out. Now this value is being read from the database. So that list is being shown from the database. So it's reading from the database. Now, when I make a selection, I want to know which is the city. So I want to know which items are getting selected from here. So there is more than one. So what I am going to do? I will put a variable here. Now it's not just a string, it's a list. So I'm going to say list of string, and I'm going to say selected cities. Selected cities. And I'm going to create a getter and setter for that. So for the selected cities, I'm going to get the getter and setters. Now I have to connect this one to the checkboxes, because any item from the checkboxes can be selected. So I'll go to the checkbox here, and I'm going to say the value of the checkbox has to be wired to the product dot I think city list is what I selected cities. Let me verify. Okay. That's done. Now the next one is what has to be done if you make a selection. Definitely you have to change the model, and you have to re-render the diagram. So let's add one more method. You can put it anywhere you want, and that is public void on city selected. What is that you are going to do? You will do the same thing that was done in the on selected item change. Preferably you are going to do the same thing. You are going to do the same thing that we have done last time. So we will go here. So on selected city change, but there is a minor problem. What's the minor problem? This is not the array. This is not the array. Why it's not the array? Because array must come from what is selected here. So how do I do that? So I'll go to the selected cities, and I'm going to say to array, and I'm going to say you are supposed to create a new string array. So this is to say that create a new string array. This line is there. If you look at the help of the help that the NetBeans gives, that line is there in that only. So you got the array with it now, and you are going to call that model for the given cities. The next one is you have to have the Ajax into your code. So let's go ahead with the code. So we are just converting the selected city into array of strings, and we are just passing it. Let's go to the index.xhtml, and the last thing that we are supposed to do here is add a Ajax functionality. And how do I add the Ajax functionality? I'm going to say Ajax, and event is, I think I will say select. If it's not working, I will come back to that. Listener is the product dot what was on city selected, and you have to render. This time I will be a bit careful. You are supposed to render the bar diagram. Render the bar diagram. Let's go here and let's refresh. First, let's say doing it. I will have to fix the method. That method that's going to fire. Let me see. That method, I think it is on select, as far as I know. Yeah, I'll go for value change. So you get whenever you are in trouble, just type something there, and it's going to tell you what is allowed. Okay, I'm getting it. If you remove all of them, you will end up in trouble. That's the thing. I'm not taking care. So you get automatic highlighting. So what I've done is this is a trial and error because the one that works is the one we'll have to use it. Value change. Okay, so you got at least maybe at the practical level, you got a diagram that is able to show you everything. Now, if you remove everything, you will end up in a bit trouble because you have that error -2 out of range. I can't help it. Okay, I'm not going to solve it because I made the things very simple. That simplicity creates a big problem. Sometimes you can't make it too simple. What happens when you try to remove this last checkbox? You are trying to convert it into an array that is null, and that null is getting passed back to the model, saying that the model then says you don't have anything to be shown. You can take care by verifying whether that is working or not. Now the next question is, see, sometime when you select a category, it may so happen that, say for example, washing powder may be there in one more city. Okay. So it may be there in Udupi. So in that case, what's going to happen? It's not going to show that. So I have to even say that you render even the other one. You can go for chaining up the rendering. So how do I do that thing? So I can go here, anyway you can do it. So I'm in my select one. I said you render the bar diagram. If I give a ID to the checkbox, so let's say I'm going to give an ID to the checkbox. ID equal to, say, checkbox, and I'm going to say that even render the checkbox also. You can say more than one item getting rendered. So you can say that more than one piece has to be rendered. So in this example, if you notice here, you don't have the values there, so nothing is going to happen. When you make a selection, nothing is going to happen because you don't have it. So let's put something into our database. So I'm going to go to the database, and what I'm going to do is, I should not have closed the spreadsheet. I will copy paste it from the spreadsheet because it's much faster rather than I'll first get everything from my database. I'll get everything from my database and then try to add something. The one that I'm going to add is, so I'm going to just say that we have G. I'll make a copy here. And I'm going to make it as, say, Udupi. So I got a record for Udupi. For the T, I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to paste it here. So the records are there for, it's updated in the database now. I'm not going to refresh this. Okay. If the things are working, and you notice it went ahead to the database, it made a direct update, and you'll be able to see the, it's on fly, it's going to go there, update it, and okay. So if the new product is being added, it is going to show that. Now when you select some other category, for example washing powder, if the Udupi is not there because of my selection, my query is actually getting a listing city, and I'm not verifying whether that city actually has the product. So that's the reason the Udupi is also being shown there, but there is no items for the Udupi. So this is a simple program, and it can be try tested during the examination, as well as this is the one that you are supposed to show it in the record book. Okay, so let's come back. I hope you've done that thing. Let's go back to the other side of the world, and that is the hibernate. So we left the hibernate. We'll go to hibernate now, and they're going to say student address hibernate demo. So I have a ordinary Java application. Now we have seen in the previous classes that it is possible to create one to many relationship, one to one relationship, and those relationships exist between the entities. But sometimes we have a relationship with the other objects, but those other objects are not entities. Why do I say those items are not entities? Because those objects are actually connected with the entities. On their own, they don't have a meaning. The one that example that I'm going to give is that student and address. Now, if you take the student object, you know very well, student object will have name, the course and everything, and address. And you are already familiar, address itself can be a object by itself, or it can be a class by itself. So you can create a class called as address that has city, state, pin code and so on. Okay. Now if you take the student object and the address object, both are related. A student has a address, but the address is not an entity. The reason why address is not an entity is address on its own does not give any meaning. So if you just read out a address without connecting that address to a student, on its own it will not create any meaning. So address, if you want to use it, it has to be connected to an entity. Now today we will say how to store a object with an entity. When I say an object with that is not an entity with the student. Now let's create a student first. So I'm going to go here and I'll add the library again because I think I added it to something else. Okay, so what I have is a student object, and you're familiar, student has the name, register number, name and say codes, but the address is not a field there. So I have a student with reg number, then say name and so on, and there is this address. Now this address is not one field. Address is a object by itself that is pointing to many things, like you can have city, state and so on. Now how do I save it in the database? So let's look at that point. So I'm going to create a student first. Under my source package, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say new, and I'm going to create a student. So private int, say reg number, private string, yes name. I'm going to keep it as it is, that's enough for me. Two things are enough. Definitely student has many other things. Now I have one more object called as a address. So I'm going to create one more class and I'm going to call this as address. Now we don't have anything called as a primary key for the address because it's just connected to a student. So I'm going to say private string, say city, private string, say pin code. That's enough. Let me get the getter and setter for this. So I have an address and I have the getter and setter, and also I'm going to get the both the constructor for this. So I'll get the default constructor as well as the constructor that takes the parameter. So I have the address. Now let's go to the student and I'm going to get the getter and setter for even for the student. So for the student I'll get the getter and setter. Also I'm going to get the default as well as the other constructor. Now let's go here and let me add a field to the student, and this time I'm going to add a field to the student and I'm going to say private address and say home address. This is a part of it. Even though the address is the other object, you notice that it's a part of the student. Address on its own doesn't make any sense. So if you just give an address, whose address it is. So that is the question. I'm going to add a getter and setter even for this. I would have added a constructor, but it's too late. So I'll just add. So the address is there. Now the question is, how do you save it? Remember, it can be added inside one table. You cannot create a table that has a field like register number, name, that's proper. What about the home address? Now the problem with the home address is it's not one piece. That home address has many pieces inside it. How do you add that thing? It's not an entity. I'm not building one-to-one relationship or one-to-many relationship, because I don't have a primary key or I don't have anything for the address. Address can be anything. Address can even repeat. So how am I going to create it? So that is our challenge. In order to create this one, I will have to put an annotation for the address. So I'm going to say the address has to be embedded inside the other object. So in order to do that thing, I'm going to say this is a embeddable. So embedded. So it's an embeddable. Now when you are embedding it, you have to implement serializable. It is required. Serializable interface is a marker interface. It's not really required to implement anything out of that interface. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to make this as an entity. So I'm going to say at entity, and again it's from Java persistent. And when you make something as entity, you will have to say this is the ID. Now I'm going to say that, okay, that object was embeddable. So I'm going to say here, this is embedded in the home address is embedded in this object. So that's a separate object that is embedded into the student object. So we got that. Okay, let's create a hibernate configuration file. Now before that, let's go and let's create a database. I think we already have the product. I'm going to use this one, product db2, as my database. I won't spare my time in doing that. I will try to put it inside this one as a student table. So product db2 table is already created, or else you just create a database. So I'm going to just add a hibernate. I just want to save it in the database. So I'm going to say new hibernate configuration wizard. If it is not there, go to other, go to hibernate, and you're going to get hibernate configuration wizard. Get the hibernate configuration wizard, and then you are not making any changes except that you select the database. I'm going to select this product demo2 database. Just now whatever I have created, product db2 something. Okay. Anything you can select. So you select, because it's going to dump it onto that database. So just remember which is your database. Finish it off. So let me add a mapping after this. So I'm going to add a mapping, and there is only one entity in my project, and that is the student. Address is not an entity, so I'm not going to put that into the mapping. So I'm going to put only the address, that is student, not the address. Then let me go to the configuration properties. I want to say what XML it is creating. Also, I'm going to go to the miscellaneous, and I'm going to say HTML to DDL equal to create. So I have added this one, HTML to DDL auto is create. I want to see the SQL, and I want to have a mapping for the class student of the class. So I have the mapping in place. Let's go ahead and let's go to the main now. So it's a simple thing. You're just trying to save something. So what I want now is a session factory. So I'm going to say session factory equal to yes, annotation configuration. I missed that, new configure, and I'm going to say hibernate.cfg.xml. So this must be saved. Hibernate.cfg.xml dot build the factory. So I have built the factory. Now I want to get a session equal to factory dot open a session, and I have to import the session, and then I'm going to go to this session, and I'm going to say begin the transaction. Finally, I have to say session dot get the transaction, then commit it, then finally I'm going to say session dot close. In between, what is that I'm going to do? So in between these places, I'm going to create a student. First of all, I'm going to create an address of subject. Address addr equal to new address. I'm going to say city is Mangalore and pin code is some number. So I have an address. I'm going to say I'm going to create a student. std equal to new student, register number, name, and I'm going to add yesterday dot set home address equal to the address. So I have created a student and I have added the address of the to the student. Now I'm going to go to the session and I'm going to say save this object and save this student in particular. So trying to save the student. Now you notice that the address is not a entity but it is embedded. Let me give it a try and let's see what it's going to do. And you notice here, right at the execution itself, it actually created a table with everything. So it created S name, city, pin code, register number. So it actually brought all the fields from the different objects and merged it and made it as single. So this is what is the meaning of saying embedding. So you can embed an object. So when you try to embed an object, what will happen? All the fields within that object will be embedded into the same table. So if you go to the table now and if you refresh the content of this table, you will find that there is one more table called student, and you will notice that the student has the fields from the student, that's register number and S name, and the two other fields from the embedded object. Now if you look at the data, you will notice that it has taken the data from the different things. So this is called as value objects. So this address that I've just created is a value object. So it's not an entity. So why it's called as value object is the address object, the value object, does not have an existence of its own. It gets the value only when it is tied up with the entity. So if you connect a address with an entity, then the address gets a meaning. Otherwise, on its own, the address has no existence. Whereas in the previous classes, you built a one-to-many relationship, which was an obvious one. Like I have a order detail and I have a product. Both of them can exist on their own. Then we start building a relationship saying that both of them are entities.